Hello, good morning. How are you? I love you, baby. How do you do? I want you to know you matter, you little hoe. And in case I never told you this before, I love you more. Okay, I'm starting to understand our connection between me and you. Ooh, that's very sweet of you. Yeah, obviously, because we're best friends. I look everywhere for you in the reverse because they don't have to look anywhere for me. I'm right here, always, right here for you every day. You just gotta type in that Empress Unlimited in your search bar, and then all of a sudden, there we are. I couldn't let you get close to me in the reverse. Oh, because you're super close to them. You're super close to everything about them. Okay, so let's stop talking about me and let's talk about you, baby. Actually, let's do a little positive affirmation. I am going to be doing my, harvest moon. Harvest moon, I like it. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Okay, so Harvest Moon is the card of fruition. And as the seasons turn, there's always a time when all the potential of the spring beginnings is manifested, which is interesting that it's literally spring right now. So we did do a few reads back a few months ago, honestly, that talks about things happening in the spring. And, maybe when it was fall or winter, that would have been a long ways out. But guess what's here now? And that's how life works. That's why we want to put ourselves on those waiting lists, Put your names on those low-income housing lists. Like, at the end of the day, when they're like, I don't have any availability until this time, is that going to work for you? And you're like, no, it's not going to work for me. I need something now, I'll tell you what. It's like God is literally, he knows when and things are going to happen for us. And if he wanted it to happen, or if we were capable of making it happen faster than it was supposed to, then it would. And there's two reasons, there's lots of reasons actually, but sometimes we're just not ready for what we want. Wanting something and being ready for it are two different things, you guys. And understanding what the reasons are for the delay, or even why we're in the situation in the first place so quickly before we even are ready. Those are more important. We need to understand how we got ourselves into these situations, or what the reason is for why things are not coming into fruition. It's not because the odds are against you. It's because, either we need to gain some kind of maturity, or there could be something about that person that they're trying to protect us from, or it's maybe from us that person is being protected. And we're just the same as anybody else, A lot of times we want to sit there and do the whole victim thing and act like fucking our life has been crappy, but I definitely believe that you understand that you're a very smart person. And I know I am. And if I look back personally, on the different events that have occurred in my life, I could tell you exactly why I ended up behaving in all the ways that I did, and without blame, just with understanding. It's okay to be able to take a look at why things don't truly work out and be honest with yourself and just be like, I'll give you an example. Because it sounds like you guys were in a relationship where you were trying to make something very clear to somebody, and they honestly I don't think they understood what you're talking about. And you might not know that. So this card being here, I just want to let you know that they legit did not comprehend what you were saying. They've never been through something like that. Nobody's ever told them something like that. And it'd be just basically like same as you, out of nowhere, you're going about your day, and some random person comes up and just tells you their way of life and the way they think about it and what they do about it and how they handle it. And you're just like, okay, what does that fucking have any relevance to do with me? You didn't care at the time because this person didn't care at the time because what they were actually dealing with was stressing them out, and their mind wasn't clear enough to be able to calmly take in a new way of thinking. And that's what you were trying to do. You knew that you weren't, you knew you weren't being rude at all. You were just like, babe, like, this is what you do. I'm not kidding you. You like, get over here and I'll help you tie your shoe. And the person was so stubborn, you know what I mean? Maybe they just wanted to chop their shoelaces off all the way. Not like literally, but like the way that they were going about handling the problem to you was just insane. You were like, dude, get over here right now. I'm going to show you how to do this correctly. I'm going to show you why I'm even doing this at all. There's good reason for this. And this person has been attacked by people their whole life, and this could have been you too. You've been actually, you really have, maybe they really were accused. I don't want to say they were for sure accused, because I do sense I'm sensing a dash of paranoia, to be honest, and defensiveness from this person, which I feel as though, honestly, for some of these people, they have actually really sweet and kind parents that are actually hoping that they too can have a better relationship with that person. They miss their kid too. Everybody's feeling the same way about the person that you feel something about too. And if you're the person that is going through it, just know that, honestly, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to struggle. And even myself, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, as a judgmental person, when I never used drugs in school. I was such a prep that my mom actually had told me a lie. She told me if I smoked marijuana, my heart would explode. And I believed her. I was a full-blown preppy student, being mean and hanging out with the mean girls club, you know. And I judged every one of the girls that was in the so-called bad girls or drug addicts or fucking crappy family club. I was just telling my daughter about this, you know, last night, about how we made judgment calls against these women. Horrible ones, you know. And we were very wrong about it. And we didn't understand it at the time. And that's something that this person doesn't understand. You might think they're living a lifestyle that is very dangerous or unhealthy for them. And so maybe you were trying to tell them that. But this person, even though they didn't seem like they were maybe letting you get close to them, or maybe you didn't feel like you had a breakthrough, you did. You got closer to this person than anybody has ever gotten to them in their entire life. This person has never actually felt love before you, not even from possibly their parents. And this person could have also been adopted, I hear. Maybe they never had a connection with their parents to begin with because they felt hurt knowing from the get-go that they were supposedly given up, which caused them to have abandonment issues. It made them feel right off top from that discovery they weren't wanted. And those are developments that occur. You know, whether anybody says that to you or not, the mind, depending on where we're at with our emotions and our mental health and our life and what's going on, can determine, you know, whatever it needs to make ourselves feel better. Hi, honey. You're fine. And in that case, for some reason, you know, we'd have to look up why the brain does that. I want to know, actually. Because I know that the brain's natural way to defend you is to make you feel better. But I feel like yours made you feel worse by saying that. So, I don't know, the way I would assume that the only rightful way for you to really be actually feeling that way about yourself would be, did somebody tell you they didn't want you? Because that makes more sense. That somebody maybe told you they didn't want you, maybe in a fight or an argument. Maybe it was even a breakup from a person that you were with. But hearing the words "you are not wanted" could have been implanted in your brain, which caused you to carry that out throughout years later, you know, into your relationships and into your thinking and your mindset. It's actually really painful for you. You come off as this person that's kind of defensive and even sometimes dangerous, you know, around certain people. They may not understand you at all, and they might actually not even feel comfortable being around you at all because the way that you express your side. I'm here to express your side of the story is coming off intense. And it's even, I feel like it's I heard like discabobbled. It's just different than how it really occurred, and it's kind of like bouncing up and around and all over the place. And what I think is happening, honestly, is that you're starting to have like realizations, and you're starting to meet people that are saying things, I love you, that are saying things that actually are like they're touching you deeply within your heart chakra, your soul chakra, and they're kind of causing you to slowly have this awakening. And even though you're getting defensive and you might not feel like you're still close to anybody that mentioned the things that they did, you haven't forgot what they said. And that is how you plant a seed. And when seeds are planted, they start to grow. And the reason why you're just all up and down and all over the place and one thing and back and forth and blah, blah, blah is because you're being pulled in two different directions. Your heart clearly wants something else than what your body and mind is telling you to do. And that's what you have to even notice. You can argue with anybody you want on the outside. You can argue with your partner, your parents, your family, but how do you feel? That says everything right there. You can blame anybody and say, oh, it's because this person did this, but like there's many times we're without that person, and I'll tell you what, I still felt crappy. And if we just do that and you just go through like elimination and find that common denominator, at the end of the day, a lot of times it's us. It's ourselves, and it's our mindset, and it's a trained mindset. And the cool thing about the brain is that you can change it in the way that it thinks and learns, but you can never forget what you've already learned. So you can learn more, but you will always have that technique. And anybody that teaches anything knows that you always want to start with the correct technique. To go back and try to change it and relearn a second technique, you'll just find yourself falling back into the habit of how you used to do it. Or, you know, sometimes even as a leader, you'll hear the people say, oh, no, I do it like this. I know that you do it like that, but I'm going to show you a way that you can be more efficient and more prosperous. And some people are just straight stubborn. My students, oh my gosh, some of them insist if they're left-handed. I, as a right-handed teacher, could know nothing about how to work with a left-handed student. Those ones were actually some of my favorite ones. That's why I love teaching and I love psychology, and that's why I studied it. We didn't study psychology so that we could go be counselors. I just like to do that because I've been through some crazy shit, and I just want to help anybody that is. We study psychology as teachers because we're working with so many different personalities in the same classrooms, and they all learn differently and react differently. I love you, beautiful. Ooh, girl, I love you so. Never, ever.
I've had that blanket for 2 years, and it's still in pretty decent condition.
Good job, babe.
Because it's still fluffy.
Yeah, you've been doing a really good job, actually, not staining or nothing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Except for, you bet you cut your jeans up, but
yeah.
You should not buy expensive ones if you're going to chop them into pieces. That's the only thing I care about. If they're cheap, I don't care about it. When they're 30 or something, I kind of get a little bit touchy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love you.
Love you.
Were those bell-bottom ones something Kel gave you or something?
What?
Huh?
What?
I found another pair of bell-bottoms cut.
Oh, that was probably a while ago. Because it was in my laundry basket.
Do we have any more things coming from Shein?
No, do you want to order something from Shein?
No, but I keep getting order confirmations.
Order confirmation?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I go on Shein and see, like, I go on Shein because I get these coupons. I got this $20 off coupon. And so I wanted to see what the price was. And so I X out of it, and it wants me to confirm that I'm still doing it.
Okay, cool. I like it.
I don't actually do it. I just want to see how much.
I do not like that bodysuit I ordered, dude. I feel like it's... Oh, and like, how am I supposed to go pee at the salon? I have to take my whole apron off, unzip it, take my arms out, and pull it down. On my other ones are onesies, so I can just like... It's different. This one, it was a mistake. I will never do it again. I'm so sad. Because who wants to take their freaking arms out all the way?
Dude, I have so many cute things on there that I want to order.
You do?
Yeah.
I love dress season.
I know. I want to get some rompers.
Me too. Ones that I can actually wear to work. Because the one that I got shorts, Obviously shows my butt cheeks. And then I got this one. I feel like I'm freaking Superwoman's wife or something. I don't even know. I feel like Spider-Man in that thing. It's terrible. It was a big fat mistake. And then my other one, it goes off shoulder, which is fine, but it's like all of them I can't really wear to work.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you can't really have your armpits showing. I obviously don't want to take my entire outfit off to go pee in the middle of a freaking client. That's too much work. All right, I love you. You're so beautiful.
Love you.
I got really lucky with my kids. You know, in fact, if you're a troublemaker and you're like, oh, I'm not going to have kids because, like, they're going to have my genetics, have them. Twins don't skip a generation. That's a lie. I got pregnant with twins, and my mom has twins, my sister has twins, and I have twins. I was not expecting it. But one thing that does seem to skip a generation, or like if I've noticed, like we were raised on a farm and we were not really given privileges, which was fine. I'm grateful for it because it gave me extremely good work ethic. But I said, oh, I'm going to move to the city and I'm going to have a big house and my kids are going to have their own rooms and bathrooms and they're going to have whatever the fuck they want. No, I got it. I raised fucking kids that are like Angelica from the Rugrats. Both my oldest and my youngest, they're very respectful. They still are expected to have good grades, but they also are aware that they can, just like you heard, order whatever they want off my debit card, and they can come and give mom the charm or smile. And you know, the twins, they don't ask for shit like that. You can ask any of, well, Brooke will. Brooke's dork. She'll literally send me a fucking pillow, a couch pillow. No joke. No bigger than a regular fucking little piece of, tiny little square. You're never, dude, every time. A $300 couch pillow was one of the things. And this is like, I don't even know how she manages to do this. How does somebody manage to pick one thing and then it's like, literally, a couch pillow for $300? You're like, anything else? But Miley, she asks for a book almost every fucking time. She's my Kindle girl. They're all just so different in every way, but you just see the difference in the way that they behave. And all of them, Halo knows how to run businesses. She has great customer service. Skylar can run businesses. He has great customer service. They've been running the school with me, and they've also had great customer service with the Airbnb. They go into the salon. They know everything. They're super smart. I got really lucky. I expect, the way that I see it, like, the kids are going to need to learn. Can you stop being stupid, Mirror? Stu! Fucking bitch. Hate you. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to need one of you guys to come over here, and I need you to hold this, please, while I do these reads. Thank you. Just comment in the box. $1,000 and you can have the job. Just cash out me $1,000 and the job is yours. Okay, so, it just shows the difference right there. They're like, when you're dealing with anyone, you gotta really break it down. Stop making it all about yourself. And what we need to just really look at is like, okay, where is this person at in their maturity? What skills does this person have to be able to overcome or even conquer this issue? Do they think it is an issue? That's where skill, will, and hill comes in. Can you teach this person? Are they teachable? Not everybody is willing to learn new ways to do things. If you're dealing with somebody that's in their 30s or above, it's definitely twice or 3 times as hard to change that person's mindset. Anybody in their 20s is going to be a lot more easy to persuade. They have a lot of hope. They're excited. Think about yourself in that day. You were in love and you really believed it too. That right there is what I know. We really believe people in our 20s and younger. And I'm sorry if you're somebody that didn't, still in your 20s. I mean, I had a rough life, but I still actually had hope. I was like thinking other people were the reason for why their life sucked, but it wasn't until my probably 26 to 30 years old that I started to actually just be a whole different person. I started to think differently, completely think differently. That's why they recommend us not having kids until that age. 26 to 30 is when you should start doing all those things. And it was for me just learning all these different things and stop, placing all these things on myself. Like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Oh, it's because you're stupid. It's because fucking you didn't do right. Why can't you ever do right? You know what I mean? What does that mean? Do you think that fucking we don't want to get right? Did you not think that every day that I sat in my apartment and fucking the rooms to the kids' rooms, they were empty and I stared at their cribs and their brand new fucking clothes that I bought in fucking my son's room and fucking me, and the rooms were empty, and guess what? James was in prison again. He got another charge. I literally went from having a full family to no one but me in that fucking house. And everybody said I was a piece of shit. They said I was high. They said I didn't care about my kids. And I actually had a fucking horrible day in my life. It was my first dark night of the soul. It could have been my second. So my sister died when I was 14 too, which fucking then led me into fucking using, and then fucking I got pregnant as a teenager and graduated with my kid in my belly, and my fucking, it's just a rough life, man. I never went to counseling over my sister dying. We didn't talk to nobody about anything in our family. We were not allowed to. We were literally raised not to trust, not to marry, that everybody's a piece of shit, they're a liar, that counselors fuck you over. That was where we were raised. 100%. We were fucking told that everything that we fucking needed was already there with us on that farm. Facts. And we were straight up to this day. Our dreams are like, no, there's a lot of things that we were told that were actually crazy, dude. It was insane. Like, dude, I already know now that I've learned the proper way to do things, what we're not supposed to do. And there was so much that honestly we all had done that we were never supposed to have done, period. And you know what? We don't need to sit here and fucking waste our time talking shit, because also one thing we know at the end of the day is that we love the people that did that shit to us, and we know we do. So if you really want to think it through, some of you may not, but I do. But think it through all the way from fucking start to finish and ask yourself fucking, would you really honestly want to fucking have the consequences served upon anybody? Because, like, state laws are different. Let's say you go to counseling and you decide to fucking talk about that one day that you and your parents were fighting and then they fucking whooped your ass. There's ways that you can whoop somebody's ass, and then there's ways that you can't. Go. I'm doing my makeup. Love you. And by law, if you tell anybody who's even a teacher, counselor, I have a license. I am a licensed teacher, so I'm a mandated reporter. And if I basically was to have heard something that could cause harm to a student or another person, I am supposed to, by law, legally report it. I typically try to help people the best I can, through this coping skills and self-help thing, because it was crazy, my life's been pretty rough the whole damn time, but regardless, I just also felt very blessed to have been able to learn about death, drugs, divorce, addiction, loss, everything, abuse, like all of that from the get-go. Some people might look at it like, it's been just a regular downfall of one after the next, but I look at it like, that was a really hard time for us. And I know that the next time it happened, I at least had some kind of experiences, and I just knew a little bit more about how to deal with it. And the next time it does come for something. So you don't, maybe you can get clean and sober, maybe you can do the right thing, but James died. So I'm still going to now deal with that. So it's just like about looking at it and saying, how can you benefit from doing the right thing? And you will. Like, you benefiting maybe from leaving, me benefiting from leaving James kept me from getting Hep C, AIDS, and possible overdose or depression, because maybe I was still down in Grant County. Maybe I still was with him. Like, there could have been a million other outcomes had I not left James the year that I did and came up here. Look at, leading up to his end result, I literally I dodged a bullet. And during that time, I was sinking desperately into fucking depression and addiction. But, I was using the way that I was because I was with James. So we're desperate for this thing. We're desperate for this understanding. We want to make sense out of something that already fucking makes sense. It's not working. So we want to make other sense. We're not willing to accept. They weren't willing to accept the sense you were trying to make. They were in the middle of the Eight of Swords, more than likely. And when you're in the Eight of Swords and they were probably 7 swords, 8 of Swords. When you're in Seven of Swords, Eight of Swords, you're having these fucking major ass realizations, and it's honestly a very it's such a hard time, dude. It is a state of mind that I fucking just, it's the worst for me. I think death would be better, honestly. Because at least you can't feel it anymore. It is, Eight of Swords is honestly where people start to off themselves. Absolutely, dude. And this person, when you're going through that, it is a lot. It's hard to fucking know that, I heard for years, accept the people that you don't like for who they are and quit fucking letting it get to you. I heard, let your family go. You gotta let your family go, they would say. What are you talking about? What do you mean, let my family go? That's my family. I don't know. They teach you these things, and or drop your friends because you can't keep any connections in your life that are triggers. That one was hard. Not leaving my friends behind. Those are my friends, motherfucker. My mom would say things, birds of a feather flock together, and that was her way of saying the 5 people that we hang out with are who we become like. And she was fucking right. I argued with her my whole damn life. But that's where they say, it's not your information, it's your delivery. And so when you're delivering things to somebody, when you know that you are right, don't be discouraged. It's going to take probably, there's a possibility it could take years, multiple people saying it differently. But what happens is I've learned along the way that somebody eventually says that thing that you said the right way, or a way that hits somebody. And that's where I was like, holy crap, my mom said that years ago. Birds of a feather flock together, Tara. But that was almost like insulting. It came off as an insult. And so that's where you got to know what you're working with. When you're dealing with a rebel, talking shit about them or their people or what the fuck you think it is a big problem to them. They're going to get defensive. They're going to say, go fuck yourself. Because honestly, those people are the only people that this person's ever felt a connection to. They felt these people at the time of their life, they're the only ones that actually showed them any respect. And that's because they're hanging out with people that are like, I call it being the coolest loser. But you are saying the things that you've said to this person because you see their potential and you're a real friend. They haven't learned that yet. They think they're with their real friends right now. They think that by people supporting their ridiculous behavior or not calling them out, or when they listen and don't say that maybe they could be doing something better, they think that that's a friend. They think it's non-friendly of you to call them out on different behaviors, but you know that it's necessary. So that's just like a place that they're dealing with an immaturity issue there. You know what I mean? So stop saying this person doesn't care, they're disrespecting you. It's not about you or me. It's simply about looking at the product that you're working with and being like, okay, so according to what I'm seeing here, it looks like there's a malfunction here. Ding, 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 ding. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, we're going to send that off to the lab because you're not a lab. You don't get to make diagnoses. All you are seeing here is, it's according to the device that you're looking at, you're more into iPhones over Androids. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, those are great, but I like Nikes, not Reeboks. Yeah, I appreciate the offer, but I already got the job. They're going to pay me more. It's just like any other thing. We just look at love different. I don't know why we make exceptions. It's just, love is beautiful. It's, who the fuck wouldn't want to love? It'd be like if there was free diamonds in the world everywhere. Fuck yeah, you'd grab it. If money was blowing around in the wind, you'd be like, everybody wants it, right? It's cool. It's cool, but we should really know that feeling of love is it's the most important thing about us. Once we lose that, we change. And you gotta understand that every time you love a little, even if you bone somebody. Okay, I've actually been the ghoster, and then I've been the one who was chasing. Chris Dempsey really did not want to work out. Let me see who else. Well, then Edward dumped me. Or wait, Lawrence dumped me, and I was devastated. Couldn't believe it. But when Chris was calling me back wanting to get with me. I did not want that, and I blocked his number multiple times. I had no interest whatsoever. So it's just like always going to be one or the other. Even if you're like, I'm not fucking trying to be in a relationship. Maybe they are. And even if they're like, me neither, I hate relationships. You're like, good. So we're on the same page, like on the same page, baby. And all of a sudden, one's catching feelings. It happens every time because you can't help it. I mean, unless you're a piece of shit. And I didn't dump Chris because I was just bitch. I dumped Chris because I found out he was bisexual. And I don't date guys that are bisexual, you nasty ass fucking motherfucker. I'm best friends with plenty of gays. Bisexual for me, it's not my shit. And I'm sorry, but it actually grosses me out, so. No. Fucking gross. Anyways, I'm kind of a hypocrite, though. I don't know why. I think women can be bisexual and it's hot, but I just don't feel like men being a bisexual is hot to me. And I'm just saying that because I just can't help saying what I think. And I'm not even saying I'm really, and these are my mindset. This is how I think, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys gotta just understand that everybody has their own version of what's okay or not okay, and that's just what it comes down to. Like, obviously, what I'm saying sounds like all my own opinion, but it could come off very offensive to somebody. But that's okay. I think it's so important to make ourselves clear. Like, I shouldn't call you a nasty fuck. See, that's where we gotta do, you know what I mean? Okay, I apologize, I'm taking it back, but at least it's a raw example. That's my opinion. So all I'm saying is that, for me personally, I should have actually figured that stuff out ahead of time. And we can avoid situations like that by doing that. Now, the crops grow tall and are ready to harvest. And they have done this from a fallow field into which we have planted seeds. The trees have flowered, and now there is fruit to pick, and it is time to harvest. Woo! So every seed that we have been planting is growing, dude, and that is what I love. That's why we got to get on those wait lists. That's why we got to do what we need to do and just not really put a time. Like, you can put your goals down and you can make it a deadline, but when there's things that are just kind of a waiting list or things that are up in the air, you just gotta trust in the universe. And when we behave in different ways every single day, no matter what it is, it just changes the outcome a little bit, a lot of it. Sometimes it can take us like a whole lifetime to, like, I know it's taken me over, dude, you don't even know. We're on 14 or 15 years now. No, it's more. We're almost to 20 years. So Skylar's gonna be 18. Let's see. I got my first charge shortly after he was born. So we're going to say 17 years at least. And I've been saying 12. 12. 17 is actually the number. So I've lost 5 years. And I know that 5 years right there was when Martin died. Because that was about how long I spent pretty messed up about that shit, dude. And I knew that the reason why I was still stuck on Martin is because I was partying. And when we don't get clean, the partying makes you want to think about trauma. It actually pulls up trauma. So, it's a depressant, and it pulls up the saddest memories you've ever experienced. That's what it actually does. That's why you see people go from happy to sad to mad and fucking go through ragers and shit. That's just bizarre and all over the place. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? You need to not drink, or you need to not do this. Well, that's true to a degree, but this person also hasn't processed any of the shit that fucking they've been through since they were fucking never. They've never learned what the fuck we're learning right now. How old are you? You're talking to people that are going through the same damn shit. We all want to feel like shit. We all want fucking change. We all want to feel better. We all want fucking this or that. But like, fucking, why the fuck is it so hard to understand that so does everybody else? We're literally all the same. We just look different. We dress different. We talk different. We think different. But we all pretty much have very similar goals. We all want somewhere to live. We would all like some food to eat. We want, even if you say you don't want love, what the fuck, yeah, you would. Who wouldn't want to have your dream man or woman? And whether you have one or not, it's just all mindset. We're made naturally to want to take care of each other and be taken care of. That's what our purpose is. So we're going to get back to that. That's what we're going to get down to. We're going to break all this down and just know that at the end of the day, you know, we all want some money. We all need some honey. We wouldn't mind a good old car. We'd really like to stop fucking fighting with people that fucking, you know, we keep fighting with. It's just, you know, nobody, unless you're just a dickhead. And even a dickhead wants something too. Even psychopaths, you know, like look at the 50 Shades of Grey guy. He ended up falling in love, dude. Look at the Joker. He ended up falling in love. Scarface fell in love. Look at friggin' Elvis. Fell in love, dude. Even though he was on Yola. And, yeah, they fucking die. And you know what's crazy, guys? They say that the average fucking person that's fucking a person that overdoses, like, that it was, if they've been talking about all the different movie stars that have died, and I remember they did this documentary and they kept saying 27, 27, 27. Ironically, James overdosed at 27, too. So if you're somebody who's struggling with that and you've ever had a situation like that and you're near that age, just, I don't know, just be careful, man. It seems like it's happening a lot around that age. I don't know if there's something in particular that makes that age, like, more... I don't know what it is about that age, but I'll tell you what, it's just a reoccurring number all the time. And I watched that, and I think maybe Marilyn Monroe, Brittany Murphy, you know, there's like a bunch of people that ended up fucking dying around that age. And I could be wrong on who I'm naming off, but I remember that documentary and just thinking, damn, that is kind of weird, you know, that all of them were dying around the same age. I don't know if James was passed away or not at the time, but he was ironically that age. I was like, that's interesting. So it's very young, you know. We think we're a lot older than we always are. That's why the fuck we need to just start having fun and enjoy our lives. Because I read a thing on the internet that said apparently nobody really wanted women after the age of 28. But that was the old days, when women were raised in families that were fully functionable. That was before the days of drugs, where parents divorced and they fought like psychopaths in front of the children who didn't end up getting any life skills whatsoever to be an obedient, submissive, or hot woman. Today's day and age has single parents raising families. Then they're also on drugs and they're unhealed and unresolved traumatic fucking superstars. And then they scream all day at their fucking children, so they don't actually learn proper communication. They learn how to get orders, or argue, or run away from their problems, or be told you're fucking stupid. There's a million things, actually, that these kids are fucking told and not fucking taught. They have to fucking get out into the real world. Their parents don't fucking work. They're on fucking state assistance, bitching about their fucking breakup every fucking day, going back to them. Some kids have to fucking watch their parents literally fucking do it and fucking hear them do it. It's disgusting. If you haven't fucking lived a life where fucking we have, thank God for that. Thank God for that. But they should start doing fucking shows on that. Some reality fucking TV right there. They always want to do the shows where they send the fucking teens, the bad teens, to go live with fucking the most horrible fucking sober parents in the world. Why don't you send your fucking good teens to go fucking... Why don't you and your teens go over here and fucking hang out at fucking our houses for fucking one fucking day, 1 week? Because the first day you're gonna fucking catch on to something's fucking weird around here, because it is. It's like the People Under the Stairs movie, where fucking people show up and the person in charge gets a completely different tone of voice and all of a sudden has outstanding customer service, and they're talking in a way that we've never been talked to. Interesting. So you're telling me you've been acting like a raging fucking lunatic my whole life, and you apparently can talk like this to everybody else and get yourself out of legal situations and make yourself look like a saint, huh? Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck a psychopath and a sociopath and a narcissist do. They beat you down in every fucking way. And they diminish your worth. They tell you you're not worth shit. They tell you that you're fucking to do what the fuck you're told to do, and you're never appreciated for it. The only thing you're recognized for, actually, is, you're fucking the target. You're a target for this person to abuse. Facts. I am completely aware of why the fuck the world is acting out in the way that they do. Why the people are homeless. Everybody's like, I don't understand that. Well, I do, unfortunately. And you know what? It's a very low chance. It's a very low ratio. Everybody says you can do it if you want to do it. Can you fucking do it? Do you even know what it fucking takes to do it? Because you have to break down every fucking one of those things, and that's not even... Dude, that's a small little thing that you got to break down. You got to learn about the human body, the brain, the nervous system, the central system, the immune system. You got to fucking learn about your emotions. You got to learn about their emotions. It's like, it is so extensive. I'm literally on at least the 20th year of studying this stuff. 20 years into it, and I'm still just mind blown about how much more I learn. And there's no way not to learn more, because as I'm learning, I'm growing, which then makes me be able to understand things differently because my brain is changing. So we are ever changing, everyone, constantly. And that's what we need to just know, is what the fuck we're working with. And we need to just be able to recognize when we say things that are inappropriate and just call ourselves out. We, as long as we're calling our own selves out and we're telling our own story and we're recognizing our own behavior, then there's no shame in that. That's goodness. You're actually learning accountability. You're being honest. You're working through things. So what, you're bad if you fucking did it, and now you're bad if you talk about it? You're bad if you fucking want to forgive yourself for it? Like, what? Don't worry about that. You feel your way through this experience. You feel your way through this moment. This is your life. This is your mind, your body, your brain. And all that you're doing is trying to understand it peacefully. Understanding things peacefully. You're not understanding things for specific outcomes. You're not understanding this to get your way. We're not understanding to respond. This is just simply listening to understand. The biggest problem with communication is that people listen to respond and not to understand. I heard that saying too. I do it. And you got to know what you're dealing with. Some people actually, they don't appreciate people reacting and responding, giving solutions all the time. Makes it come off like you don't care about their feelings when you're always trying to help them fix it. Sometimes people just, and I'm not somebody who actually looks for people to fix or I don't really feel like I'm that type. I'm definitely the friend that gives solutions and wants to fix the issue, 2 or 3 words into you starting your story. I mean, I can easily pick up on somebody's problems and know what the fuck to do to fix it. I'm just that's the friend I am, so. But of course, I attract all the opposite kinds of friends. I got the friends that fucking don't fix their issues, and they always got the same ones. So I guess that's not my problem, right? At the end of the day, we don't really, I just tell my daughter, she's going to find that in school, these girls that are giving her, a hard time, more likely are going to go through, fucking dang, they're going through something right now for one at home, more than likely, and unfortunately, if they're not willing to be doing the same things that you're doing right now, they're going to go through the same thing. And for me, I had to go through some fucked up shit to change the way I felt about things, and like my sister dying. And when my sister died, Kinsey was such a simple person. She was beautiful. She was so amazing. We had different dads, and that was something that was always seemed to be a big issue in the fucking family. So immature. People fucking talking shit about fucking parents. I hated it. I love my parents, both of them. I hated hearing from one of my parents the negative shit that that they had to say about the other one. Luckily, I only had one that did it. My dad never talked bad about my mom. And when we were going through a hard time, he would say, "Oh, Tara, it's okay. I understand. But don't let it get to you, okay?" He would say, "Pick your battles and just walk it off." I missed my dad every day when he left. I hated it without him. I hated my mom. She wouldn't let us be with him. And I know that some days I say, "I understand. Because I try to make it feel better. But I know it. I know what the fuck I feel like happened. And I don't actually fucking... I'm angry about it. I missed out on a lot. Because my mom honestly was so fucking immature. All she did our entire fucking life was spend her whole fucking life, even to this day, still hating my dad. We're not even allowed to call him dad. We have to call him Larry. That's just childish ass shit. And honestly, if I could get one message out there, don't fucking do that. You think that you got a story to tell a child like that? The fuck? Fucking get a life. Go fucking tell a counselor. Why don't you fucking fix it? Like, fix your problems. Like, to even feel that amount of rage or anger towards somebody is just like a total fucking sense of like immaturity. Grow up. Nobody fucking in the world could do anything to you, honestly, that fucking you can't prevent. If you're such a fucking... I always say this too. It's funny how we always act like we're such a damn badass. Or how we can change our personal character when a certain person comes around. And we can act like we're so much fucking smarter, wiser, or more professional. I do it too. I got fucking people that intimidate me. I know when to fuck not wear jeans at work, and, you know, we all do that. We know that fucking, if somebody specific walks by and we be smoking it, you know, we throw that cigarette, you hide the cigarette, you know, like, that's the thing. You gotta really break things back down and say, oh, yeah, so this is bothering you, but, like, you've been able to handle it in all these other areas, so what is really fucking bothering you? You know what fucking was bothering my mom? She loved my dad. She actually was fucking sad about a breakup. She wanted my dad to do things her fucking way. Well, it wasn't her choice. Even if it was what she felt like it would be the best thing to do, it was all about control. It was. And so, since he didn't give her what the fuck she wanted, she fucking cut him out of our fucking life. She talked shit about everything that he ever did. And she separated herself from it. She acted like, because she wasn't involved with him anymore, that she could tell the story like we're fucking idiots and couldn't figure out the missing pieces. Obviously, anybody knows that we all fucking hung out and partied with our boyfriend. And that what? They cheated on us? Like, what? There's something happens along the way. James, you know, he fucking straight fucking ended up cheating and getting on all these different drugs, and fucking, I wanted to change too. I lost the kids too. I was going through legal shit too. You know, when you're in the drug world with somebody, you enjoy it at first, obviously. You're out partying. Then some weird, crazy shit happens, right? Maybe you end up in debt. Maybe you're robbing people. Maybe somebody got shot. Maybe people are looking for you. I mean, it's a million different things, but that's when things change for somebody. Before that, what? You were having a fucking great time. And then what? You caught feelings, your feelings change, you know, and then you decide, okay, we need to start doing things like this because this is what I think. That's what you thought. And I'm not saying that what my mom wanted was necessarily wrong, but I can tell you many different things that I feel like I personally wouldn't have been able to deal with even as a person myself, you know, as a child. So in my opinion, there was major areas needed for learning what to do and learning how to grow and learning how to understand things in a way where it wasn't negatively affecting people. The situation is negative already in itself. So to sit there and be negative about it instead of proactive and fix it is just, it's a memorable experience is all I'm saying. And in the end, your kids are super affected by it. They don't end up actually fucking believing what you say. They just remember you angry and immature. And hopefully they were able to overcome that and do something different with their life. But if you guys don't end up choosing to learn these coping skills, you end up being 60-something years old. Still bitching about the same fucking problem. Facts. I'm sure you know people like that. That will be you too. It'll be any of us. So, you decide how long you want to spend on anything you're grieving or that upsets you. But just know that if it does upset you, it's because you fucking have... It affected your heart chakra. You can act like you're angry about it or that this person is a piece of shit and that you fucking hate them. Say the words. Say it, say it, say it. Spit that negative energy out there into the universe. You're going to get it back. You cannot put negative energy out and not get repaid with it. All that we do, whether in positive or negative, comes back. What goes up must come back down. You put it out, you get it back. So every time you say something that's negative, know you're going to get it back. And it's not going to be in a timely fashion of your decision. It will be whenever the fuck it feels like it. And if you're somebody who honestly says a lot of negative shit or does negative shit behind people's back, or you lie, or you sneak around, or you got problems that fucking you and the universe have discovered within yourself, ain't cool. Once you've discovered that something is a problem, it doesn't matter if anybody on this 3D knows you're doing it. We think we're sneaky. We think if we say, no, I'm not, mind your own business. We even get to the point where we say, this is my fucking life, and you need to leave me alone. No, it's not. You're literally here because they're allowing you to live on this universe. Like, this is a universal, like, unity. We're all sharing energy, exchanging it. We're all breathing the same fucking air up in this area, dude. Like, every single thing that we do is all connected. Absolutely. And we all have a purpose down here. And that is what really needs to start you need to look at that. Because every single time we decide to put another person down or tell somebody how to live their life, or we halt a dream. Teachers are a big one that pisses me off, man. I've seen so many college students drop out because of a bad teacher and go into default. And I mean, I loved my students. I tried everything that I could. But once they got below certain attendance, I could only keep them in my class. But I can't even tell you how many students have really horrible teachers. They're no fucking different than your parents. Are the most fucking controlling, evil people not the leaders of things? I know a fucking bitch that literally I think is a murderer, and she runs. And I'm not exaggerating about that. This bitch, I'll get into her in a whole different time because I haven't forgiven her. So she'll be coming up. Because that's what we need to work through. Anybody that gets on that's super mad, either there's two things. What they did is true, and we need to process and work through it and do it in a healthy way. Or what they did is not true, and we're actually delusional, and we need to also be awoken so that we can either get to one of those two determinations. The goal is to feel better, not to be right, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to be right about half the shit I think. Why would I want to think that happened? And you know what's interesting to me is, like, some kids, like, are straight liars. And we as adults know this. We've heard kids tell the craziest story. Like, one time, my niece Harley, I'm driving, dude. Maybe my mom was driving, so I don't know. One of us was driving by. She's a fucking dork. She literally says, I know that my dad went to jail, and I know why. She said something about maybe trying to steal somebody's dog over a fence, and that's why he went to jail that day. No, he did not. And it was such a graphic and descriptive and very honest. It sounded really true. She didn't even skip a beat saying it. She was very fluent. I'll tell you what, if that wasn't my niece and I was some person in a car listening to that child speak, I would have been horrified, honestly, of what kind of lifestyle they were supposedly living. She has a great fucking home that she goes home to. And she's extremely intelligent. She's probably the smartest person in her whole family, in my opinion. But just hearing a child that I personally knew that day speaking, telling a story that we knew was not accurate, just showed me right there that, holy macaroni, kids fucking can do that. And we don't, if that's true, let's just say you're the type of child that, and I wonder if I am too. This is what's bothering me about what my theories are. Is I've been feeling really down lately. Like I was the one who was mean to my family. And I feel like I did things possibly to them. Or either something happened to me that I black out and I have shame. Basically, okay, I didn't tell you anything. I think some fucking weird shit happened when we were little. And I'm not going to mention exactly what the fuck I think it is yet, but I think that it happened to many of us, and I think that in the end we ended up fucking somehow getting involved with, each other in the mix of it. And I think there was events where we were all involved together, and I think that's why I have that shame and guilt with my siblings, is because I think we were asked to do shit possibly together that we would not have normally wanted to do, and I think we were forced into it, and I think I blocked it out. And I think as the big sibling, I just feel like I did not feel good about it. I think I have shame or guilt, and I think that there's also a chance that I was called the princess daughter. Nobody else was. So by knowing that, I feel like in a way, maybe I noticed I was getting attention from one of the parents for being mean to my siblings. And there was also that abuse going on. And so I think that I recognize that, because we do that even anywhere. Even though there's a main abuser, if you're the abuser's main man, you kind of are their sidekick co-partner thing. And I feel like that's the energy that I feel like. I feel like we were all getting abused, and I feel like I end up being my dad. I was probably close to my dad, and I think that's why I have such... I think both my parents fucking know exactly what the fuck. And we're gonna fucking... I will find out. I don't care. Fucking... It's inevitable. But, it's, you know, surface things like that come up. But I think that I have a lot of shame about it. That's where I think it keeps coming up, about the siblings thing. Hurting your siblings, and how are you involved in that? But how are you also hurt? Don't fucking sit here and blame yourself. Don't blame this person. I'm not even blaming them. Do you know that child fucking porn wasn't even illegal? You could fuck a minor until 1983. It didn't happen. It wasn't until 1983 that they thought there was something weird about fucking a child. Child porn was legal until 83. So that's what I think, like, a lot of our parents were into. I think they were into fucking doing weird shit like that, honestly. And just knowing that that's how the fuck that generation thought, that's fucking whack. So when anybody want to say, what the fuck happened to the millennials? They fucking were birthed from fucking parents that fucking came out of the 70s era. If you didn't notice, it wasn't going on before them. Their parents were fucking extremely concerned, worried, and devastated about what they were doing. They had no agreement with it whatsoever. All of a sudden, rock comes out. Rock and roll. I mean, everything. The Flower Children. I mean, look at it. From the 70s on, look at all the fucking drugs. We got coke, meth, heroin, fucking child porn, fucking all these weird fucking things. That's what the fuck they were into, bro. We are kids made out of it. We were growing up in that fucking house with all their fucking weird ass shit, dude. No coping skills. They didn't even invent fucking counseling. There was no counseling. All this shit was developed. Mental health, it was developed after fucking they went through their era. They didn't have mental health and all that shit because there wasn't all these drugs. Fucking, they didn't need to fucking make pills. They didn't need... This last literal fucking 50 years has been very much different than the world we were supposed to be living in. So I'm not blaming here, but I can at least make sense of it. And you know what? For anybody that fucking wants to point fingers, I wouldn't. Because we'll get to the bottom of each and every fucking damn mystery. Promise that.